Sawadee Ka. Alright, we're going to do number 10 now of the rules. I changed the rules. So far, this has been the best part of the book. He's just really breaking it down. I'm loving it. So number 10, I'll just jump right in. Distress is bad. Eustress is good. Okay, so I guess we're getting the definition of eustress now, which is the opposite of distress. Okay. Unbeknownst to most fun-loving bipeds, that's us, biped, as opposed to quadruped. My ex-wife Lauren used to call the dogs quadrupeds. She was like that. A lot of fun. We had fun for 10 years. Well, we had fun for 7 or 8 years. We didn't have fun for 10 years. That's why we got divorced. Anyway, to most fun-loving bipeds, not all stress is bad. Indeed, the new rich don't aim to eliminate all stress, not in the least. There are 2 separate types of stress, each as different as euphoria and its seldom mentioned opposite, dysphoria. Well, there you go. Told you he was a smart guy. So, words and things like dysphoria and eustress, he's familiar with. Distress refers to harmful stimuli that make you weaker, less confident, and less able. Destructive criticism, abusive bosses, and smashing your face on a curb are examples of this. Thought of American History X right away, right? Smashing the dude's face on the curb, killing him. It's like one of the more violent things I've seen in movies. These are things we want to avoid. Well, yeah. Eustress, on the other hand, that's E-U-S, eustress, E-U. Eustress, on the other hand, is a word most of you have probably never heard. EU, Greek prefix for healthy, okay, is used in the same sense in the word euphoria. EU, okay. So eustress, eustress, okay. Well, I was saying eustress. Yes, I've already had my coffee. Just the brain for it. Role models who push us to exceed our limits. Physical training that removes our spare tires. Oh dear, I'm in need of that. And physical training removes our spare tires, and risks that expand our sphere of comfortable action. Risks that expand our sphere of comfortable action, breaking outside your comfort zone, I guess that's a long-winded way to say, are all examples of eustress. Stress that is helpful and the stimulus for growth. Okay, come with them. People who avoid all criticism fail. It's destructive criticism we need to avoid, not criticism in all forms. Similarly, there is no progress without eustress. And the more eustress we can create or apply to our lives, the sooner we can actualize our dreams. The trick is telling the 2 apart. The new rich are equally aggressive in removing distress and finding eustress. So it's kind of like good cholesterol, bad cholesterol, the HDL and the LDL, and one's good, the other's bad. I guess it's similar to that. So not all stress is created equal, which is a cool lesson. And also, once again, this entire paragraph I see as a way simply to say, to find the success you really want, to live the lifestyle that you want, you got to get outside your comfort zone. That's really what that whole paragraph boils down to me. Q&A, questions and actions. There you go. It's the questions and answers, questions and actions. Cool. See, it's the little things. It's the little things in life. I like that. How has being realistic or responsible kept you from the life you want? How has doing what you should, quote, resulted in subpar experiences or regret for not having done something else? Look at what you're currently doing and ask yourself, what would happen if I did the opposite of the people around me? What will I sacrifice if I continue on this track, doing what everybody else does, 5, 10, or 20 years? And at the 20-year point, that really gets scary, right? All right, we'll start the next one because we're only 4 minutes in. Dodging bullets. Fear setting and escaping paralysis. Many a false step was made by standing still. And you don't want to know what brilliant philosopher came up with that? He found that in a fortune cookie. That's where I go for my philosophical needs, fortune cookies. They don't have those here. They have Chinese food here, like hot pot and stuff, but they don't have fortune cookies. That's an American thing. So many a false step was made by standing still. In other words, just standing there, letting life happen to you is not moving in a direction, the right direction, any direction. You're just standing there, letting life happen to you. Named must your fear be. Oh, that's got to be Yoda, right? It is Yoda. Yeah, because the way he talks. Named must your fear be, before banish it you can. Named must your fear be, before banish it you can. So you have to identify it before you can deal with it, handle it, get rid of it. That's funny. As soon as I read named must your fear be, I'm like, that sounds like fucking Yoda. And it was Yoda from Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back. So there you go. Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. 20 feet and closing. Run, run. Hans didn't speak Portuguese, but the meaning was clear enough. Haul ass. His sneakers gripped firmly on the jagged rock, and he drove his chest forward towards 3,000 feet of nothing. He held his breath, and it sounds like he's going to hang glide, run off a cliff and sail, which is a fucking awesome feeling. You never feel as free as when you're in the air, free falling out of a plane or hang gliding, cliff jumping, parasailing. I mean, being in the air is just the best fucking feeling in the world. Probably because you're not supposed to be. Like, humans weren't designed to be birds. So when you're a bird, it's fucking cool. He drove his chest forward 3,000 feet of nothing. He held his breath on the final step, and the panic drove him to near unconsciousness. Yeah, never hold your breath, guys. It's never a good idea. In fact, if you're stressed out and you're in a shit situation, breathe. Just focus on your breathing. That's the most important thing you can do. Not breathing, not good. His vision blurred at the edges, closing to a single pinpoint of light. And then, ... he floated. Yeah, he's hang gliding. The all-consuming celestial blue of the horizon hit his visual field an instant after he realized that the thermal updraft has caught him in the wings of the paraglider. There you go. Fear was behind him on the mountaintop, and thousands of feet above the resplendent green rainforest and pristine white beaches of Copacabana, Hans Keeling had seen the light. That was Sunday. On Monday, Hans returned to his law office in Century City, Los Angeles' posh corporate haven, and promptly handed in his 3-week notice. For nearly 5 years, he had faced his alarm clock with the same dread. I think everybody knows that fucking feeling, right? The alarm clock. The fact that you have to set an alarm clock because your body isn't ready to get up yet. You have to force it to get up. That speaks volumes right there. I have to do this for another 40 to 45 years, with the waking up with the alarm clock and going to the office. He had once slept under his desk at the office after a punishing half-done project, only to wake up and continue on it the next morning. Yeah, that's fucked up. If you're sleeping at fucking work, you're out of control. You need fixing. That same morning, he had made himself a promise. 2 more times and I'm out of here. Strike number 3 came the day before he left for his Brazilian vacation. We all make these promises to ourselves, and Hans had done it before as well. But things were now somehow different. He was different. He had realized something while arcing in slow circles toward the earth. Risks weren't that scary once you took them. Hey, fucking man. Yeah, that's the damn truth. Half the time, I want to say, more than half the time, you do something that you've been dreading, fearing, worrying about, and you do it, and you're like, that was it? Like, I was worried about that? That happens a lot. Take his word for it, take my word for it. Fear is overrated. Fear makes you fear things that you really don't need to fear, and you really don't fear. Fear mind fucks you. Fear plays games with your mind. So don't give into it. Don't let it rule you. You rule it. Fear is just an emotion that you have, like love, like hate, like anger. Control it, like you control the other emotions. Blah, 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 his way to the top. The risk are scared once you take them. His colleagues told him what he expected to hear. He was throwing it all away. He was an attorney on his way to the top. What the hell did he want? Hans didn't know exactly what he wanted, but he had tasted it. On the other hand, he did know what bored him to tears, and he was done with it. No more passing days as the living dead. No more dinners where his colleagues compared cars, riding on the sugar high of a new BMW purchase until someone bought a more expensive Mercedes. It was over. Keeping up with the Joneses, right? That's a big thing. I went out with a buddy of mine, Adam Frankel. He's in Colorado now, but when he was in Jacksonville, I went out on his boat, and it was a 25-foot boat. Nice sized boat. And we had a blast. We're drinking beers and peeing off the side and, doing what guys do on boats. We just had a fucking blast. And I loved it because at that time I didn't have a boat. And it was just like, yeah, this is so fucking cool. And while we were out, right, we parked, and like I said, we were drinking some beers. And a 32-foot boat or a 36-foot boat goes by. And he's like, oh, man, I would love to have that. And it hit me even then, even before I've read this book, the way I think, it hit me. It's like, dude, what's wrong with you? You got a fucking boat. It's a new boat, brand new boat. He lived in a subdivision in Jacksonville called Isle of Palms, where his boat was in his backyard. He had a boat lift, easy to hose it down after we came back in, clean it. I mean, it's the life. We walked out to his backyard, hit a button, and got on the boat and went. And it was amazing. And he's like, oh, I wish I had a bigger boat. Dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? Who cares if his boat's 11 foot bigger? Dick envy much, do you? I mean, right then it struck me that this is crazy. Guy's got a boat, which a lot of people who don't have one would like to have. A brand new 25-foot boat. It ran like stink. It was a nice boat. You could fish. You could ski behind it, water ski, whatever you wanted to do, you could do. It was a very good boat. And he, poor men want to be rich. Rich men want to be king. And a king ain't satisfied till he rules everything. Thank you, Bruce Springsteen, for writing that. It's so fucking true. Dude has a boat. He wants a bigger boat. Like, really? Even then, give myself credit, I saw the craziness in that. It struck me right away. Like, what's wrong with you? You got a boat, bro. It's cool. It's fun. Living Dead comparing more expensive Mercedes. It was over. Immediately a strange shift began. Hans felt, for the first time in a long time, at peace with himself and what he was doing. He had always been terrified of plane turbulence, as if he might die with the best inside of him. Now he could fly through a violent storm, sleeping like a baby. Strange indeed. There you go. He went paragliding, and planes weren't so scary anymore. All of a sudden, the plane felt safe because you're covered. You're actually not safe in a plane, but whatever. Strange indeed. More than a year later, he was still getting unsolicited. You thought I was going to say dick pics, didn't you? Yeah. Unsolicited job offers from law firms. Because they need to churn, right? They need assholes who are going to work 80 or 120 hours a week for them. They need that. They feed on it. They chew you up and spit you out like ground beef. So, yeah, of course he's going to get unsolicited job offers because he's a young lawyer. And that's the guys who will fucking kill themselves so the big, fat, old partners can get even richer than they already are. It's a fucking scam. But by then he had started Nexus Surf, Nexus Surf. www.nexussurf.com. You can look it up. I don't know what that is. Oh, well, here we go. A premier surf adventure company based in the tropical paradise of Florianopolis. No, I have no idea where Florianopolis is. Oh, well, Brazil. He had met his dream girl. There you go. And I gotta do a dating update, guys. It's been fucking fast and furious the last few days. I paid for the 27-year-old pissed me off, and I paid for Ty Cupid, and oh my god, the fucking floodgates opened up again. So he met his dream girl, a carioca with caramel-colored skin named Tatiana. Yeah, I bet he met his dream girl. So he met this hot Brazilian chick, which blew away all the Western women, especially the women in L.A., the women in LA are like career focused and driven, which is fine. If you're a lady and you want to be with the boys, go ahead. But you understand that that's not what men want. Men want a woman who's very comfortable in her own skin being a woman, right? And the ladies in Brazil, the ladies in Thailand, they're very comfortable being women. They're okay being women. They don't want to be us. They're smart enough to know they don't want to be us working 80 hours a week. Well, I'll show any man I can work 80 hours a week. Knock yourself out, honey. Go for it. Go ahead. Go prove that you're a man when you're a woman. Hey, if that makes you happy, I'm not being sarcastic. If that makes you happy, go do it. I got no problem with it. but I'm not going to date you. And you're looking at me going, I don't want to date you, you fat fuck. Oh, okay, so we're both happy. It works. It's okay. So here he is with Tatiana in Brazil, running a surf adventure company. Pretty fucking cool. Beats working 80, 100 hours a week in LA. And spent most of his times relaxing under palm trees or treating clients to the best time of their lives. Yeah. Is this what he had been so afraid of? Boom, as the Cash Geek used to say, Diamond G. Boom. I mean, that's it. Okay, well, it's okay. There's a couple more paragraphs, even though I'm over 15 minutes. I'll read it quick. I want to finish out the story of the lawyer, Hans, the lawyer. These days, he often sees his former self in the underjoyed and overworked professionals he takes out on the waves, waiting for the swell, the true emotions come out. God, I wish I could do what you do. His reply is always the same. You can. He was them. A couple short years ago. The setting sun reflects off the surface of the water, providing a zen-like setting for a message he knows is true. It's not giving up to put your current path on indefinite pause. He could pick up his law career exactly where he left off if he wanted to, but that is the furthest thing from his mind. Why the hell would you go back to that when you got what you got now? As they paddle back to shore after an awesome session, his clients get a hold of themselves and regain their composure. They set foot on shore and reality sinks in, its fangs in. I would, but I can't really throw it all away. He has to laugh. So did he make more money as a corporate attorney? Fuck yeah, tons more. Probably 10 times as much, maybe 20 times as much as he's making with the adventure business. But is he happier? Which is really the whole point of this book, guys. That's a great example. I'll keep reading from the book, but that story right there is what the entire book is all about. He did what he thought was success, which is being an attorney. I want to be a doctor. I want to be a lawyer. Okay, you're a lawyer. So he's doing the corporate grind, and one day he'll be partner. One day he'll be the fat old guy where the young guys are burning the candle at both ends, killing themselves, sleeping in the office, and crazy shit like that to make him rich. That's his dream. He wants to make partner. So he's doing the sacrifice of working the insane hours to get there. And he's making gobs of money. Even as a young lawyer, not a non-partner, he's making well into the six figures, especially in LA. But he wasn't happy. He was almost dead. He was slowly killing himself, really, with that kind of workload. We're just not designed to work that hard. And he was miserable and tired and exhausted all the time. Has anybody ever worked so hard that they know, to be exhausted all the time? Me, I remember what that was like. Bank of America for like no pay, and then, building my company. But at least when it was my company, it was my company. I was doing it for myself and not corporate America. So that was better, but still killing myself. I am much happier here. Hans was much happier in Brazil. So even though I'm making less money here than I did in America, even though he is making less money in Brazil than he did in LA, we both are infinitely happier. And at the end of the day, and what sucks for me is it took until I was in my 50s to understand this. But if you're listening to this book or reading this book at 20, 30, 40, you'll learn faster than I did. This is where it's at. This is where it's at. Quality of life is everything. Money is not everything. We're trained to think money is everything, but it's really not. The money is just a tool to make yourself happy. And I'm happy here. He was happy in Brazil. So that's it. 18 minutes. It ran long, but I wanted to finish Hans' story, and I'm glad I did. That's it. What you heard today, that's the whole plan. And at any time, he could have gone back to that 80-hour grind. There are all kinds of job offers. Come kill yourself for us. So what he left wasn't something that he destroyed by leaving it. And once he started living the lifestyle that Tim's talking about, which is different for everybody. Like I said, he's in Brazil. Hell, you could stay in your hometown. You could live in Florida if that's your dream. Buy a boat and take people fishing. I mean, your dream, your mileage may vary. Your dream will be different than mine and Hans's. But the point is, we're living our dream for a lot less money than you're not living your dream. Right? You got to make more than me just to survive in America. And who's having the better time? And I'm not being all cocky and like, oh, look at me. I'm just saying, guys, Everything this guy is preaching is 100% true. I'm living proof, and he's giving examples of many, many other people who took the same path. And if you want, you could take it too. It's available to everybody. That's the good news. It's free and it's available to everybody. Y'all have a good day.